How you make New York style bagels from scratch, and this is one of the recipes taught in our vegan cheese class to accompany some of those great plant-based cream cheeses. To mix up our yeast, I'm using some dry active yeast today with some water. Give that a little mix. That we're adding some sugar. I'm opting to use some brown sugar today because I love the flavor from the molasses found in brown sugar. And you want to set that aside for a few minutes until your yeast becomes bubbly. We have some flour, and I'm using a bread flour today. That's a flour that's got a high protein content. Now, if we want a classic New York style bagel, we do want a little bit of chew there, and we have some sea salt. I like to add a little bit of plant-based margarine, so a little bit of fat to our dough, and this is going to make our bagels nice and soft inside. Now, the key to a flavorful bagel is using some fermented dough. Now, essentially all this is dough that we've prepared ahead of time, 2 to 3 days ahead of time. It's been in the refrigerator, slow proofing, so it's allowing all of our yeast to develop tons of flavor. And we're gonna add that as well on a low speed and mix until everything just comes together first. It's just starting to come together. I am going to pop this back on my mixer, and we're going to continue mixing this for about 7 to 8 minutes on speed 2. It's been about 8 minutes or so. We're just going to check our dough to make sure we've got some good gluten development. Just take a little bit of the dough off, and we are going to spread that dough with our fingertips until we can create a window. Plastic container here, and we're going to spread that until it's even, until it's basically almost doubled in size. So I'm going to wait until pretty much it's gone all the way to the top of my container. So it's a nice gauge to pop it into a container like this. Now our dough has pretty much doubled in size. It's nice and puffy. We're going to start scaling it into 100-gram pieces. Dough piece and roll it into a ball. Sprinkle a little bit of flour onto each ball. Set that aside for about 10 to 15 minutes just to rest. Different ways that you can shape a bagel. So the most classic New York style way is we're going to turn this into a sausage. So I've just flipped it over. I'm just going to press that down lightly and sort of roll it into a sausage shape. And we're going to roll it out, link together, and then roll to stick them. Classic New York style way. Pop that onto our tray. Just get a little bit of that flour on my fingertip and just poke a hole in the center, and we're just going to stretch it out. I'm gonna pop a tea towel on those and set them aside for about 15 minutes. And meanwhile, we're going to start heating up our water. And just with some water. And one of the things that I like to add is some molasses. Now, this is going to give it that really authentic flavor of a New York bagel. So it's important with your hot water that it's just a very gentle boil. And we're going to carefully put in our bagels, and about 30 seconds on each side. All right, now we're gonna get these out. These guys, while they're still wet, you wanna put on your seasoning, anything that you wanna stick on. Now we're just gonna pop these in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes. Have come out of the oven, and don't they look absolutely delicious? Out for about 20 minutes to cool down a little bit before we can cut into these and enjoy them with our favorite plant-based spread.